Well, welcome back, everybody. It's bright and early on Friday morning, literally about 12:30 a.m. Remember, this is video 2 of 3. Video 1 of 1 you can find on the channel. This is video 2, and Xander is still here with me, but the little man, well, here he is. He's a little awake now, but I guess after the first video of me just kind of sitting here making coffee and relaxing, he decided my term of waiting for everybody to be home to take a nap and sleep didn't count for him. So he's actually snoozing away here next to me. Maybe he'll wake up in the middle of this video. But remember, the first video we actually talked about the extradition process and why you would want to waive the right to dispute that extradition. This is video 2, and what I would like to talk to you about is standing silent. And I made a mistake in the first video and said standing silent at trial, which, yes, you also have the right to stay silent at trial. You do not have to testify. But I was actually meaning standing silent at the arraignment, like the Idaho 4 suspect and defendant did in the horrific quadruple homicide charges that were brought against him. During his arraignment, as many across this nation watched, he stood silent, meaning he did not plead guilty or not guilty for himself. The judge had entered the plea for him. I watch every day in complete frustration about people saying how rare this is. No, it is not rare, everybody. This happens on a daily, thousands of times all across the United States. It is your right, if you would like, to stand silent at your arraignment. Now, most times it's done with an absolute purpose. I'm not saying every time, because there's always somebody out there that acts like a clown, that wants to against the justice system just to bring up their own personal agenda or to stand in front of the cameras and make a mockery of everything going on. This gentleman did not use it in that manner. And let me explain to you through personal experience. I have done it myself. And the entire reasoning behind doing it is you are not acknowledging the charges against you. You do not believe there is a case against you. And you're disputing any future grand jury indictment or preliminary hearing indictment. So pretty much what you're stating is, I am not going to acknowledge these charges because I feel as though I will be disputing said indictment in the very near future, whether you go the grand jury indictment route or you go the preliminary hearing route. Now, normally this is discussed and decided upon prior to the arraignment between said attorney and the client. Most times it is not the defendant that states, I want to stand silent. I mean, they can, but that's not most cases. I was advised 2 times to stand silent by my personal attorney. When we discussed it, they informed me via the information they had already gathered, whether it be through the discovery process, the PCA that was written and delivered to get my arrest warrants, something had triggered their idea that there was something wrong within my arrest. Now, there have been numerous times that I pled when I went to actual arraignment where I either stated not guilty or guilty. There have been a few times I've stated guilty because it just wasn't even worth me bothering to try to battle it. So, obviously, at that point, I would go and plead guilty, and then I would get behind the scenes and work with my lawyer to either work out a plea agreement heading towards the sentencing or we would go ahead and leave it in the judge's hands, depending on what type of charges I was facing. In larger charges, which mine were not capital level charges, I have had very high first degree charges of criminal syndicate. I have been charged with murder. I have been charged with second degree murder. And I have been charged with other charges that were violent charges. That does not equal out to any type of capital charge. So I can't say that I base my decision on a quadruple homicide capital death penalty case charge. I've never been in that situation, and thankfully I never will be. Never will be there. Straight and path, got a great wife, got a good family. Very thankful for what I have, including all of you that watch my videos and have subscribed to my channel. Thank you to all of you from the bottom of my heart. I truly appreciate it, and I truly enjoy sharing the experiences and the little bit of knowledge that I may have. Now, getting back to standing silent, everybody keeps yammering about how this is just a rare thing and they can't believe he did it. He's narcissistic. He's playing it out for the cameras. Everybody, I'm going to tell you something you just might not know. 95% of the time, it's already told to the judge prior to anybody entering the court that this is what's going to happen. It's not a shocker, ladies and gentlemen. It doesn't just shock everybody in the courtroom that it's going to happen. Your lawyer knows prior to you entering that courtroom, and 95% of the time they've informed the prosecution and the judge to what is happening. They don't want circuses transpiring within courtrooms. They don't want it. Many things are very public and in the public eye, and they don't need any disorderly conduct, and they're definitely not looking for a narcissist to be out there clamoring in the glamour of the cameras. This defendant is one of the most quiet, laid-back people I've visually watched in everything, just like you have. I have not seen a single thing in narcissism. I have not seen a single thing that so many people claim that they're seeing with the smiles and all of this nonsense. He is battling for his life in a court of law where he is presumed innocent until found guilty. He stood silent by his rights within the courtroom. He is exactly allowed to do what he did. He did it for a reason, and to everybody's big surprise, come on, we all called this. I specifically stated this within numerous groups that I'm in, anybody I could ever talk to regarding it. His indictment was going to be disputed. We all thought it was going to a preliminary hearing. I didn't think it was. I knew at the last minute the prosecution was going the grand jury route because that is the most guaranteed indictment you can get. I don't care what people tell you. I rarely see a grand jury not indict somebody. It is rare, less than 1% of the time. So all these people that say, well, they have a grand jury indictment, they must have enough evidence to convict. Yeah, that's baloney. That's baloney, ladies and gentlemen. I've beaten grand jury indictments and I've beaten preliminary hearing indictments. No, that's not guaranteed guilty. It's not that they have enough evidence to find him guilty. They had enough evidence that they presented to a jury that could get them enough of a reasonable amount of evidence to arrest the individual, hold him until it went to trial, where more evidence could be presented. So it's under dispute, ladies and gentlemen. We are still awaiting a decision in the Idaho 4 case that's going to be presented before the judge in regards to dismissing the grand jury indictment. This was known the minute he stood silent. I'm going to say it one last time. It happens a lot. I beat a grand jury indictment by standing silent, disputing it for lack of evidence and also investigator intimidation of witnesses. Been here. I've done this. I've watched it time and time again. I'm not saying that this grand jury indictment's going to be dismissed, but I do feel it's a 50-50 shot that it could be, based off of what's been presented within the motions to the court for the judge to decipher upon. It's going to be a great hearing. I hope we get to watch it. My dog is literally playing chase the tail right now, so Xander is now definitely awake. However, that is my personal, I guess, experiences mixed with opinion based off of what I've known, what I've experienced. All of those that say standing silent is rare, and they can't believe he did it. That's so narcissistic. Not true. Not true at all. And we're going to find out in October whether his dismissal request of that grand jury indictment is going to be in his favor. Everybody, this is video 2 of 3. You have a great night. I'll see you again soon.